You need to file your taxes and you want to know the best way to do it for free or really cheap. I'm going to run through all of your best options, but before we do that, I want to give you a very quick review of how we got here and how tax filing works in the United States. Hello, citizen. You need to file and pay your taxes every year. Okay, that's fine. How much do I owe? Oh, we know exactly how much you made this year and we know how much you owe, but we can't tell you. Okay, so how do I figure out how much I owe? Well, we suggest you use a private company, and you're going to have to type in all of the information that we already know, and then they're going to have your personal private information, and they're going to use that to try to sell you more products. Can't I just do this with you since you already know all the information? No, that's not possible. Oh, and by the way, if you mess this up, you could go to jail. But why? This process seems so much easier in every other country. Oh, well, that's because here in America, tax preparation companies have spent millions and millions of dollars lobbying Congress to keep our tax code complicated and to not allow you to file directly with the IRS. Because if we had a simple tax code, or if you could file directly, their business wouldn't exist. It's true that tax filing companies have spent over $90 million lobbying Congress to keep things as convoluted as they've been. But as part of the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act, there was a new law that required that the IRS set up a new direct filing system where people can finally start to file their taxes directly with the IRS. In 2024, there is a pilot for the IRS Direct Filing program, but it is only available to people in certain states with certain filing conditions. Here's the list of participating states, and most of these states are ones that do not have state income tax as well. In Arizona, California, Massachusetts, and New York, they do require state filing, and there is a coordinating state system that goes with that IRS direct filing system. But the direct file pilot is only available to people with relatively simple returns. It's people who are going to take the standard deduction and don't have any kind of unusual income like business income. But if you're one of the people that qualifies for the IRS direct filing program, I would definitely give it a try. I really hope this is the way it's going to go for all of us, and we will stop the nonsense moving forward. For the rest of us that don't qualify for that federal direct filing, let's take a look at our options. We're going to talk about Turbotax and H&R Block, which all of us have heard of, and some people can file completely for free. We're also going to talk about Cash App, which is available free filing for almost everyone, and FreeTaxUSA that has free federal filing for truly everyone and a very inexpensive state filing. So first up, let's talk about some things that all four of these options have in common. First of all, they're all authorized by the federal IRS e-filing program, which means they have to meet certain security requirements. The second thing they all have in common is they should get the same numbers in the end. Tax software is really just like a giant calculator, so if you're entering the same numbers into all the programs, it should give you the same answer back for how much you owe or how much refund you're going to get. And all of these programs are completely free to try them out and see what number comes out. So it doesn't hurt to run your numbers through more than one if you're feeling a little unsure. All of these programs also really walk you through with easy to understand questions, things like, are you married? Do you have children? So that you don't have to get into the jargon of taxes to be able to figure out what you need to enter. So let's get into some of the differences between the various options. So Turbotax has this interface where it just kind of walks you through one thing after another. Each page loading takes forever. But you can see it has this nice menu over here where you can jump around and go to different topics if you want to. On Turbotax, when you go to enter a W-2, it does give you several options. You can upload it from your computer as a PDF. You can use your phone to scan it and send it in, or if you scroll down, you can choose the option of type it in yourself. And then Turbotax does break down the W-2 info into multiple screens. Like here, you're going to fill in your employer information, and then you're going to hit continue, and then you're going to get another page and hit continue. It feels like it's a lot of clicking with Turbotax. Another difference with Turbotax is that if you go to add investment income or bank interest, you have the option of logging into your financial institution to upload that information. Or you can choose to enter it manually. The only time I could find this making a real difference is if you did a lot of buying and selling of individual stocks that were not reported to the IRS, then this could save you some typing. But for the vast majority of us, this is not really gonna make a difference. I find that the interface on H&R Block is pretty similar to Turbotax, except even clunkier and even slower. But they do have some nice options for if you're uploading your W-2. H&R Block does have some coordination with certain employers where you can upload your W-2 directly into H&R Block. They also let you upload a PDF, snap a picture, or you can enter it manually. The manual entry of a W-2 on H&R Block I find a little bit simpler than TurboTax because at least they do put it all on one page and you can just type it all in. H&R Block also has that ability to connect with investment accounts to upload those forms. Now with Cash App Taxes, you can do it through the app and you can also do it on a desktop. I'm going to show you the desktop version here. And you can see the Cash App Taxes is very simple. And Cash App Taxes has started offering uploading a file or a photo of your W-2. But if you enter it manually, you can see it's really simple. I like how they just have all the boxes laid out here for you to fill out. Cash App Taxes is also really fast, much faster than H&R Block or TurboTax. So in FreeTaxUSA, you get a very simple, very fast interface. It's really easy to navigate. With W-2s, you do have the option to enter it manually or to upload a PDF, although that is in beta, and I did try it last year and it was a little bit buggy. But if you try to enter it manually, it's really simple. It's just all on one page. It runs really fast. You just enter everything right here. On FreeTaxUSA, if you go to enter interest or dividend income, you do have to enter it manually, but it's really simple. It's all on one page and you just type in the relevant boxes. Also, I should mention FreeTaxUSA does not have an app. If you want to do it on your phone, you do need to use the mobile website, but it runs really quick and easy and fast on phones. It actually works much better than the apps with TurboTax and H&R Block. Let's get down to what do they actually cost. So TurboTax can be completely free for federal and state filing. And trying to find out who it's free for, you do have to kind of dig into the fine print. But down here, it does explain that it can be completely free if you have W-2 income, interest or dividends, take the standard deduction, and so on. And it is not free if you have any sort of itemized deduction, unemployment income, business or 1099 NEC income, and so on. Now, one thing they don't mention on their pricing page is even if you do qualify for the free version, they do push you to upgrade to their deluxe version, which is $29. And if you do have to upgrade to one of their paid products because you do have something more complex, they do charge you up to $59 just for your state filing, in addition to whatever it's going to cost for your federal. It's easy for TurboTax prices to get well over $100 if you have anything even slightly complicated with your taxes. They do say in their fine print that roughly 37% of filers qualify for their completely free version. But that does mean that the majority of us do not. H&R Block's pricing model is similar. You can get completely free federal plus completely free state if you do meet their requirements. But again, that's only if you have fairly simple taxes with only W-2s and standard deductions. If you have anything beyond that, including any kind of business income or itemized deductions, you're going to have to upgrade. And the lowest cost for the upgrade is $35 for federal plus $37 for state. And H&R Block does the exact same thing as TurboTax, that even if you qualify for the completely free version, they try to get you to upgrade to their extra support for $29. Now with Cash App Taxes, there truly is no fees whatsoever. They don't even have a way to pay for any kind of upgraded services. So it's free for federal, free for state. And Cash App Taxes does support most situations. There's only a few exceptions. One of the bigger exceptions is anybody that has multiple state returns cannot file their state taxes through Cash App. But we will come back to what is the catch with Cash App. Now with FreeTaxUSA, they are very straightforward with their pricing. All federal returns are free, completely free. Now, all state returns are $14.99. So for most of us that have federal and state filing, it is going to cost us about $15. Now, they do have a couple upgrades, but they're quite reasonable. If you want extra support, you can upgrade to Deluxe for $7.99 or their Pro support for $40. But I definitely appreciate how FreeTaxUSA is really straightforward with their pricing. All right, so let's get to the part of what's the catch? Why are they free? With TurboTax and H&R Block, it's pretty obvious that even when you qualify for their completely free version, they're still trying to sell you things. They're trying really hard to sell you their deluxe version for $30 and all kinds of other services. Also, they're trying to get you locked into your system. If you use TurboTax for free for many years, you're very likely to use them again when you have something more complicated, and they're going to charge you $150 or more. Now, Cash App is a little bit trickier. As I said, they really and truly don't charge anything for federal or state. So what's the catch? Why are they doing this? Well, the catch is you must sign up for a Cash App account before you can file your taxes. And when you're signing up, they do ask you if they can use your data to sell you other services. And Cash App is owned by Square, and they have lots of other services, including things like Afterpay. So Cash App is really just trying to get more customers onto the platform and get more of their information. Now, FreeTaxUSA, how are they making money? Well, they are charging you $15 for state returns, and I'm sure that money adds up to quite a bit over the millions of people that file with FreeTaxUSA. They're more of a high volume, low cost for each person kind of company. Now, personally, I have been filing my taxes with FreeTaxUSA for many years after moving away from TurboTax. Honestly, with a super simple interface that runs really fast, I truly prefer FreeTaxUSA over TurboTax and H&R Block. It's just easier to use to me. And I don't really mind spending $15 to file my taxes when I'm giving it to a company whose whole point is just to file taxes. They're not trying to sell me lots of other services. And by the way, I do have an affiliate link for FreeTaxUSA. I'm going to include that down below. If you do use it, I do earn a commission, but I'm just here to tell you about your options. And if you are one of the people in one of the states that qualify for that direct file pilot program through the IRS, I would absolutely give that a try. You would go straight to the IRS and set up an account to get started with that. If you're new here at Smart Family Money, I hope you consider subscribing so you can watch more helpful videos like this.